Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our YouTube live today. We're putting Malta and Cyprus head to head in the EU and revealing who's really worth your investment in 2025 and which country offers the best deal for EU residency this year. Okay, these are obviously two islands in the Mediterranean island. If you didn't know that, obviously you do. That's why you're watching this live stream. Again, folks, this is unedited, uncensored, no special effects, just the exposed truth, just like the rest of our YouTube live videos. Quick introduction if you don't know me, my name is Reza, founder of Ingway, your gateway to international and secure low-risk investments, alternative residencies, and/or citizenships. We have an active portfolio of more than 20 countries and services that opens up a world of possibilities for investors and serious professionals seeking returns on their investments or alternative residencies or citizenships and/or a combination of. Our team is licensed in immigration, residency, citizenship, and real estate. We work both with B2B and B2C channels, meaning we cooperate both with financial advisors, investment advisors, financial institutions, family offices, real estate brokerages, and directly as well with individual investors and families. At Ingway, we have successfully helped thousands of families since 2018 with overseas alternative residency, citizenships, and investments. Our existing portfolio includes Europe, Central America, North America, the Caribbean islands, Micronesia region, New Zealand, and even Dubai. Whether you're seeking to invest in real estate, aiming to retire comfortably, and or enhance your quality of life with positive cash flow, or maybe find crypto-friendly tax countries, yes, or perhaps even acquire direct citizenship without moving anywhere, or fast-track residency. Whether it's for yourself, your clients, or future generations, we do offer a wide range of options for you. We're not just a typical sales company. No way. We educate you. We provide you the resources, guide you, help you weigh all your options, looking at the downside, the upside, the risks, the returns, matching to your short, medium, and long-term goals. You can consider us as a custom solution provider. Our global partnerships and multilingual team, which speaks 10 languages, ensure that no matter where you're coming from or where you're planning to invest or move to, you'll have seamless support from our team from A to Z. You can engage with our office through our website. The link's down below this video. Let's jump into it. Both Malta and Cyprus offer direct residency in Europe through investment. No language requirements, no work experience, no education required to apply for these two programs. These two EU programs offer some of the most straightforward residency pathways through real estate investment in all of the EU, which is becoming a scarcity. Not the residency, but the real estate option, because you've seen Spain, they've shut it down with 100% tax on foreign investors. Portugal removed it back in 2023. Most EU countries are shunning away from real estate investment, leading to residency, i.e. like a golden visa. Greece still has it. Malta and Cyprus still have it too. What's the main difference between Malta and Cyprus, and which one should you choose? Well, maybe either one, but the key is what you're looking for. And I'm going to break it down to help you decide which one is better for you. I'm not going to tell you which one to choose because that's not our job. Our job is to inform you, and then you make the decision. Here's the head-to-head comparison. And I'm putting a table together in this article that we're posting after this video so you can check it out, right? So I'm going to give you a huge breakdown, like a high-level overview, and then we'll dive deep into each category. So real estate to residency, yes, of course. Malta and Cyprus both offer real estate investment leading to residency. In Malta, you can rent real estate or purchase, qualifying you. In Cyprus, you have to purchase or invest in an asset category, which can also include real estate as well, but you cannot rent. What's the minimum investment for a family of three? Well, in Cyprus, no matter how big your dependent family is, if you got 3 children, 2 children, 6 children, it's 300,000 euros plus VAT. In Malta, family of 3 would cost you, based on the contributions and donations to the Malta government plus the rentals, it can come to around 129,050 plus 14,000 euros as the annual rental that you have to pay to meet the minimum investment criteria. So it's not really an investment in real estate, which you can do, and we'll dive deep into it. So cost-wise, you can actually get into a residency in Europe between Malta and Cyprus at half the cost of Cyprus in Malta. Okay, interesting to know. Can you invest before the residency is issued? That's a big deal, right? Like, are you going to remotely buy something? Obviously, you can go and visit if you have a visa or visa-free exempt country. But a lot of people, they're like, hey, why should I buy something before I even visit the country to get a residency? Well, Malta offers you the option to come in on a temporary residency and then do the investment or the rental. Cyprus doesn't. Minimum eligibility, well, Malta, you need €500,000 net worth in assets, with 150,000 euros of that being minimum liquid funds, or 650,000 euros net worth in your assets totally globally, with 75,000 euros being your liquid funds combined in that 650. You need police check and medical check. And of course, background security check, meaning the police check. Cyprus, you just need proof of funds, income, which will cover police check, medical check. It's pretty straightforward. There's no net worth or liquid funds. You just have to prove that you got money to invest, let's say the 300,000 plus VAT. Processing time, it takes 2 to 3 months for Malta's temporary residency, so you can come in the initial stage, and then another 6 to 8 months for the final permanent residency. So all in all, 10 to 12 months total, but it's 2 stages. Cyprus, don't believe what you read on the website of the Cyprus government. It takes at least 8 months, at least to 10 months to get that. Okay. Full member of the EU. Yes, Malta is a full member of the EU region. So is Cyprus. Member of the Schengen region. Yes, Malta is a full member of the Schengen region, meaning that a permanent residency or a temporary residency of this Schengen country, Malta, allows you visa-free travel to all of EU. Cyprus, no. And don't believe them that they're joining the Schengen. They will eventually, but everywhere you read, they're like, we will be part of Schengen soon. I've been hearing that since 2007. I'm not joking. Okay. So they will eventually. It's just that it's not going to happen. So don't base your decision off, oh, yeah, in a couple of years, it'll be part of Schengen. No, it's probably not. That's what I thought back in 2006 and 7 when I had a Cyprus residency. Ooh, in fun fact for your today's session. Permanent residency, yes, they both issue permanent residency, unlike other EU countries which issue temporary residency. Malta issues a temporary residence first, then immediately gives you the PR. So no additional anything. Like you could just wait for the PR and come in, or come in real quick with the temporary residence. Cyprus gives you the permanent residency up front when you arrive. Family members that can be included. So Malta can include children under the age of 29, which is great. Dependent children, not married, financially dependent, right? And then in Cyprus, of course, they have children under the age of 25. So if your kids are under the age of 25, either country is fine. If they're 26 or 7 or 8 or turning 25, then you'd have to kind of pick Malta probably, unless they're married, in which case neither country will accept them. Parents can be included. Yes, Malta is the only EU country with the golden visa programs that can include both sides. So your in-laws and your own parents. Wow. Cyprus, neither. This was a change they did in 2023. Bilingual country. Yes, in Malta, the business language is English. Everyone speaks English as well for business. So we considered actually the only bilingual country in EU because it's very international. So Maltese and English. In Cyprus, yes, it's international, but you gotta know Cypriot Greek. If you don't, you're gonna be challenged. Obviously, there's a lot of people living there who don't know Cypriot Greek, and it's fine. A lot of people know English, like any country, Portugal, Greece, Spain, Italy, but at the end of the day, it cannot be considered a bilingual country. Eligibility timeline to passport, it's 5 years in Malta and 5 out of 7 years in Cyprus, so very similar. What's the program breakdown? Let's go into it. Cyprus's previous residency program was shut down in 2022 due to integrity issues and EU pressures. It was relaunched in 2023 with a bit of a higher threshold and minimum income requirements, and that you couldn't include parents anymore. So you do need the minimum income of 15,000 euros per dependent spouse, 10,000 for each dependent child. So meaning you prove that you've got that income. Okay. In Cyprus, it leads to permanent residency for 10 years through any asset investment, which can include real estate, stocks, bonds, shares, whatever, any kind of types of investment. Obviously, just incorporating and putting money in your own account, that's not an asset purchase. It's got to be an asset investment or purchase. On the other hand, Malta dropped its contribution fee to the government in July 2025, so very recent. The contributions and fees for a family of 3 to move to Malta is broken down. Government contribution, which they call it a capital transfer, 37,000 euros. You pay that to the Malta government. An admin fee of 60,000 euros to the Malta government again. A donation to Malta Registered Charity, 2,000 euros. Government residence card per person, which is a government fee, 550 euros. Administrative and documentation processing, usually you'd be charged around 500 euros to get your stuff together, plus the legal immigration support. So you pay your lawyer or consultant that fee. There's a property lease or rental of 14,000 euros per annum minimum to qualify. So meaning you go and rent an apartment wherever you can, right? Like a property in Malta, in Gozo or Malta, that costs 14,000 euros or higher to rent per year. If you sign an agreement and you put the deposit, you qualify for the Malta program. You can also purchase real estate at 375,000 euros in Malta or Gozo. Gozo is just an island, part of Malta, but it's not mandatory. So in Malta, you can just rent a property and qualify. You don't have to buy, but of course you can buy if you want to. It's got to be minimum 375,000 euros. And if you want something nice, it's usually around 450 plus in Malta. Like, you know, what's a combined total for Malta? It's about 129,050 euros for including legal immigration fees, support government fees, donations, contributions for a family of 3, which means your child under the age of 18 and spouse and yourself. Besides the 14,000 euros that you're going to spend in rent. But the point being is that you're renting that. So that's your accommodation. That's a cost out of your pocket. It's not an immigration fee per se. Another key feature of the July 2025 update for Malta is that applicants and their families receive temporary residency as soon as the due diligence or security check is processed, so let's say 2-3 months, and can come in immediately with that temporary residence to Malta and wait for the PR, which might take another 6 months. This is a very important new feature of Malta, which I will explain later in this live stream, and why it matters and what you can do to maximize your investment, okay? And folks, we will jump into our questions and comments right after this, and you can ask any question about any program that we have in our portfolio. What's the investment requirement? Like I said, Malta, you can rent at 14,000 euros plus per year, or purchase 375,000 euros real estate, and you get an immediate permanent residency for you and your family and your parents and your in-laws to Malta. Great, and you don't need to live there too. That's the beauty of it. And in Cyprus, it's minimum 300,000 euros in any asset investment, including real estate. Okay, so you can't really rent in Cyprus. Okay, what's a due diligence? So Malta's due diligence is a little bit more stringent. So you got to have the Malta net worth. So you got to have a net worth of 500,000 euros plus liquid funds of 150,000 euros within that 500,000 to qualify for Malta. No Schengen refusal. So meaning if you apply for any Schengen European country that were refused and you never overcame that refusal by getting a visa approval, you will not qualify for Malta's permanent residency program. You can also have a net worth of 650,000 euros and only liquid funds of 75,000 included in that. So either 500,000 net worth or 650 for Malta. Stringent security check, no prior Schengen refusals that you were not able to overcome for an approval. So example, you applied to Germany or France or Italy and you got refused. You never overcame that refusal from that Schengen country. You will not be able to apply for Malta's PR. Okay. If you don't have the net worth, you won't qualify. If you don't have the liquid funds, you won't qualify. They do a very strict security check. The whole timeline of the due diligence can be 2 months to 3 months. The whole process can take 10 months for Malta. Sometimes 12, sometimes 10 months. Cyprus, the whole thing takes 8 months. There's no minimum net worth. You just need to show your funds that you can invest 300,000 euros plus VAT and the minimum income to prove when you're bringing in your dependent spouse, common law, or children. Okay. What's the residency benefits and long-term value between these two islands and the EU? Well, they both lead to citizenship, right? Malta within 5 years, Cyprus 5 years up, 7 years. Residency for family. So you can obviously bring dependent children under the age of 29 in Malta and Cyprus under 25. So that's the difference. Language requirements, you don't need any language to go in there, but Malta, they speak English as well. Cyprus, they claim they do, just like Italy or Portugal. It's a hit and miss. But Malta is a bilingual country in Europe, which is kind of interesting. It's the only country in Europe where it's truly bilingual, including English. I'm not talking about bilingual Switzerland bilingual. I'm talking about bilingual English and their local language. What's a Malta passport versus Cyprus passport? So you've invested all this time, money. Your kids are studying there. They know the local language. After 5 years, they apply for passport. Let's say they get a passport in Cyprus. Let's say they get a passport in Malta. Which one is more powerful? Well, of course, Malta is, because it's part of the Schengen as well. Okay. And Cyprus is part of the EU as well, which is great. But Malta's passport is more powerful than the Cyprus passport. It was actually being sold for €1 million before the EU shut it down earlier this year around April or May, right? So head-to-head, visa-free country, access to EU, Schengen region, it's Malta. So if you're investing all that time and money, unless you speak Greek or you've got some Greek Cypriot blood in you, I'd go for Malta. If you've got that Greek Cypriot blood in you, or you know the language, spouse, family members, you've got family in Cyprus, then go with Cyprus for sure. I used to have a residency there. The food is amazing. My God. I mean, holy moly. Did you know that Italy imports olive oil from like Cyprus as one of the countries, obviously a whole bunch of other countries, repacks them in Italy and then exports it to like US and Canada? Interesting fun fact. Lifestyle, taxation, and strategic fit for you. Well, Malta has a lot of UK campuses for schools for your children, like universities and colleges. So you can get actual access to English curriculum schooling. UK campuses paying fraction of the cost of what you would pay in the UK, but in Malta. Healthcare is covered with your residency. Work for any employer, run any business you like in Malta, and low taxation. Cyprus, also low taxation, will cover it. So the key with being very optimizing your taxation in Cyprus is taking non-domicile status. So a significant benefit for foreign residents in Cyprus is a non-domicile status. An individual who is a tax resident of Cyprus but not domiciled in Cyprus is exempt from the special defense contribution tax. This is a crucial distinction as the SDC taxes normally apply to passive income in Cyprus. Dividends and interest for non-domiciled tax residents, dividends and interest income, whether from Cyprus or abroad, are completely exempt, both from personal income tax and the special defense contribution tax. Rental income, well, while rental income is generally subject to both income tax and the SDC in Cyprus, non-domiciled residents are exempt from the SDC part only, and it's very minimal. What about foreign pensions? Foreign pension income receives special tax treatments in Cyprus, right? So, meaning, well, no, that was Cyprus. Now we're covering Malta, okay? So, tax resident. An individual is generally considered a tax resident of Malta if they spend more than 183 days in the country in a calendar year. Same with Cyprus, but Cyprus also has the option of spending 60 days and then applying to become a tax resident. So, it's kind of like it's a tax strategy for certain high net worth or high income earners. With Malta, you've got to spend more than 183 days in a calendar year to become a tax resident. But keep in mind, little side note, you can actually apply for a tax residency of Malta without spending time there too. So this is a legal concept for referring to, domicile. This is a legal concept referring to person's permanent home or place to consider. It's not necessarily a place where they're residing all the time, right? So Malta's tax system for individuals can be categorized into three main groups. Ordinary residents, domiciled in Malta. So your tax on your worldwide income, so whether it's coming from overseas or local, you're paying a tax. It's a progressive tax rate. So the second category is you're a resident of Malta, but not domiciled. So it's a remittance basis of taxation. This is the most common status for foreign permanent residents. So if you get a PR in Malta, you'd probably go for this. It offers a significant tax advantage. Local income and capital gains earned inside Malta is tax normal, progressive. Overseas income, so you've got income from UK, India, Pakistan, Dubai, Egypt, Canada, US, you name it, right? Foreign income is only taxed if the remitted amount is brought into Malta. So if you've got an account, let's say with Wise, with a Lithuanian IBAN number or a Dutch IBAN number, or you've got money sitting in Panama or who knows where, Singapore, or wherever in your home country, and you don't bring it in Malta, you don't pay a tax in Malta. Foreign capital gains tax, capital gains from overseas sources are completely exempt. So if you sell assets, you don't pay a tax in Malta. What? And then the minimum tax. So this is another benefit. Individuals with this status have foreign income tax exceeding 35,000 per year must pay a minimum annual tax of 5,000 euros. So basically, it means it's a flat tax rate. If you become a resident but non-domiciled in Malta, you pay 5,000 flat, and all your global income, capital gain, it's tax-free. And by the way, Malta does not tax you on your crypto income. Other countries which are part of the Commonwealth, UK, US, UK, Canada, and then of course separately US, and even Australia, they apply capital gain tax on crypto income, which is bad. Malta doesn't. The third category for Malta is a non-resident. An individual who is neither resident nor domiciled is only taxed on income and capital gains that are sourced from Malta. So however, taxpayers can choose to be taxed at the normal progressive rate if it's favorable. So capital gains, 20%, special tax. So Malta also has a special tax program, meaning that you can become a tax resident of Malta. So you don't need to live there. It's not a permanent residency. You don't actually need to rent or buy anything. You don't need a potential net worth of any kind. You just become a tax resident. And as long as you're not a tax resident of another country, you just pay a flat fee of 15,000 euros a year. And that's it. You covered it. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Millions, billions, hundreds of thousands. Doesn't matter. Okay. What's the hidden downside and policy risks with these two countries? Which one would you pick? Well, Cyprus, there's language issues, right? If you're there, it's not a bilingual country. Sure, everyone knows how to speak English if they want to sell you something, right? Paying more for Cyprus when you're comparing it to the Malta rental option. So with Malta, you can get away with, let's say, 130,000 plus 14,000 rental. But in Cyprus, you got to invest 300,000 euros. No negotiation. No matter what, it's got to be minimum investment, right? And Cyprus is not part of Schengen. So residency in Cyprus does not give you visa-free access to the rest of Europe, right? And Malta citizens, of course, are. So Malta, you have full access to visa-free because Malta is part of Schengen as well. They're both part of EU, but they're both not part of Schengen region. There's high due diligence with Malta. So if you don't have the net worth, if you've got security issues, if you've got Schengen refusals that you did not overcome previously, you probably won't get through to Malta. Cyprus is easier. Cyprus, you buy before you arrive. So you get the residency and process before you arrive based on an investment. You cannot invest later. So it means you can't get the residency and then invest to get the residency that way, right? It's first stage is you invest, you buy the property, you get the paperwork, you apply for immigration. Malta, you can actually apply for the due diligence if you do the minimum, if you have the eligibility and then get the temporary residency, then arrive to Malta with the family, then buy or rent any property you want that qualifies, and then submit those documents to continue the PR process, which may take another 6 to 7 months. So it's very friendly, user-friendly. Malta real estate market is much stronger than Cyprus. Cyprus is if you buy it, you're going to lose money the next day when you flip it. Okay? There's a lot of properties there that you can build. There's a lot of land that's underdeveloped. Okay? Malta, tight market. Small island, very limited construction permits, old heritage style buildings. And because of the Malta residency program, the rental demand is also big, meaning that everyone needs to rent to get a residency. So Very robust rental market, very robust real estate market. So when you look at the two, personally, I'd invest in Malta real estate, not Cyprus, and no prejudice here. I'm just giving you the lowdown here. Okay. And folks, we're going to jump into your questions and comments right away. If you like international investment hacks, creative residency and citizenship solutions, or key analysis and the exposed truth about program policies, updates around the world, then you can click on the subscribe button for our YouTube channel, where we post more videos on the latest investment programs, residency, citizenships, and even fast track passport programs. Okay, at Ingwe, we're dedicated to crafting solutions that meet your specific immigration needs with clear upfront processes and payment milestones for your peace of mind. We offer a variety of programs that match your goals, backed by our expert guidance. Our commitment is transparency, choice, and security for you, your money, your family. With comprehensive professional errors and omissions insurance and client trust accounts at Canadian banks, we protect your interests. Plus, our multilingual team supports applicants from over 55 different countries. Ready to take the next step? Click the link below to contact us, and we can provide you personal guidance. If you qualify, you might get on a call with me. And of course, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me as well. Let's jump into our YouTube live comments and questions. Nashvan Ali, if someone applied to PR under the Startup Visa Canada program and the file has been referred to CBSA since about 24 months, is it okay to wait more time, or is there anything else that can be done? Nashvan Ali, I'm not sure what you mean by the CBSA. You cannot be referred to CBSA. CBSA is an enforcement agency, a border security agency. It doesn't process immigration cases. It enforces. Okay, so SUV cases don't get referred to CBSA. So if you can just kind of clarify that. Ash one says, hello, they started process for SUV yet? Yes, that's what we've heard, and we're expecting a boost because there's a public holiday. It's the last week of the summer. So between September to December, we expect a whole bunch of decisions to come for startup visa applicants who've been stuck since 2022 and 2023. Okay. Vilas Desai, hey, how are you? Harris, is it possible to open a bank account on Canada before having the PR? Yes, if you're in person. Here, it's very easy. You can just have a visitor visa, tourist visa. You come in, you open a bank account, whether personal or corporate. It's simple. If a bank doesn't let you do it, go to the other branch, because they will. That's how the banks work. It's depending on the person you're dealing with, if they're experienced. If they have no experience, they'll be like, oh, you don't have status here. No. On a visitor visa, you can easily open personal, or even if you have a Canadian business, you can open a bank account as long as all the shareholders have a resolution done for you. So if it's personal, it's just your passport, your contact info. If it's corporate, you need to bring all the corporate documents, meaning, the Canadian entity villas. So you'll bring your incorporation documents, articles of incorporation, the shareholder resolutions, and then your personal ID. And then whoever is going to be a signatory has to be in person. And you've got to have a resolution by the company and all the shareholders that you're going to open a bank account for them, if they're not all present. But at least one person should be present. Nashvan Ali, the next year's spots allocated for the Canada Startup Visa program are 1,000. Do you think it could be increased, as the current processing time is 52 months, or no, it could be even reduced? I feel like they're just going to keep the targets as they are, Nashvan, 1,000. I don't think they will reduce it, because that will just create a bigger backlog, right? They don't like backlogs. That's what the IRCC doesn't like. That's why they've been refusing a lot of cases in the last 8 months. They've been cleaning house. So it means 1,000 will be approved. So they can refuse 10,000, but they have to approve 1,000. So they want to approve 1,000, okay? And that's the bare minimum. And that's not just startup visa. It's self-employed is combined in that. Nashvan Ali, the background check referred to CBSA. Okay. The background check, yeah, it depends on your nationality, certain nationalities can take a long time for security checks, right? And it could take a while, right? But it really depends. No one case or person is going to be the same. So if I tell you 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, every case is different. Every nationality is different. Every individual's passport and security background has a different check. Okay, so there's no timeline on the security check on that. Or the security is still under process instance. It can be. It depends on the people who are in your group, or if yourself. Where did you travel? Where are you from? right? There can be a name issue. There can be very extended security check timelines, but it's not the norm. It's usually the exception. It does happen. I've seen it even some of my groups and clients have represented. Folks, it was great meeting everyone. We're here next Thursday again, live stream, talking about passports, residencies, immigration programs, crypto-friendly countries, real estate investments, and alternative programs for you, your family, or your clients. Okay. We're going to post as much as we can about information to let you make educated decision for your family, depending on where you are. And remember, we always say, when was the best time to plant a tree? It's 20 years ago. When's the next best time to plant a tree? It's today. Okay. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks again, Nashwan Ali, Vilas Desai. Great seeing you, Ashwan, and everyone in the shadows as well that have that are tuning into our YouTube live stream, which is every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. now, North America Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe because it's free. And if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine as well. You don't want free information. You don't want to be educated. You don't want to have the inside truth about what is happening with all these immigration programs in countries around the world. And remember, September onwards, it's going to be skyrocketing decisions coming in for SUV. So tune in. Take care, folks. Great seeing everyone. Take care now.